were trying to get a change in the play right at the line of scrimmage. He ran out of time on the play clock. Let's get on to the sideline. Jim Barber on the Gary Barnett philosophy.
Wayne, it's interesting. When Gary first got here, Northwestern was still struggling in football. He told everybody that in order to get this thing going, it's like hammering away at a boulder. You're going to keep doing it every day. You're going to be taking your punches, and it'll seem like you're not making any progress. And then one day, the boulder will split in half, and everything will be all speed ahead. Isn't it interesting? He uses boulder as an analogy because that's where he got his coaching going with the Colorado Buffaloes.
Good point, Boulder, Colorado. Boy, they turned that program around. That program was 1-10, and they were 3 years into the mission when they were 1-10.
They gave them the opportunity to stay there long enough to do that.
Sherman's got a man open. Price, the tight end, and a short gain. Ismaili forced him out near the 23-yard line. And it will be for Iowa coming up a third down. Ron Vanderlinden was a young pup on that staff. Coach Bill McCartney out at Colorado back in the early and mid-1980s. These are some of the people who have emerged as head coaches now. Vanderlinden's the defensive coordinator here at Northwestern, but look at the list of head coaches off of that staff.
Very successful programs those coaches have led.
Third down for Iowa. Sherman again calling the play. At the line. Northwestern in a blitz. Ismaili pressures the quarterback. Intercepted by Fitzgerald, but he tracked it incomplete. Pat Fitzgerald almost had a pick at the 35-yard line of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Fourth down for Iowa.
One thing that Northwestern did was they wanted to try and make Sherman audible by showing him different fronts. This time, Ismaili comes up, shows the blitz, forces Sherman into the audible, but then the team drops back into the zone coverage. They really fooled him that time.
Nick Gallery with the wind to his back. Musil back deep. He's already taken one the distance today. Martin almost got that punt. Musil allows it to roll out of bounds inside the 25 where Northwestern have put it in play. Just short of their 23. When we resume, Dyke Stadium, Evanston, Illinois. The Hawkeyes on the road trailing by 4.
Mike Gleason back in the Big Ten studios. Florida State, North Carolina. Danny Cannell, 9 straight 300-yard passing games. Cannell goes to 7. Andre Cooper and a touchdown. Third quarter now. Florida State 28-6 over North Carolina. Let's go back to Evanston.
Right here, Iowa trailing Northwestern 24-20, and the Wildcats taking over near their 23-yard line. Now, we talked about the wind, and Northwestern is going into a wind that's gusting up to about 30 miles per hour here in this quarter. But look at this. Northwestern with the wind 27 yards, against the wind 125. Go figure.
I think it's important, too, that they control the ball here because this is the quarter Iowa has the wind.
Darnell Autry escapes to the outside. Out to the 28-yard line. On a gain of about 5 yards. Mulhern makes the stop, and again, that linebacker Vernon Rollins having a big afternoon here today. Very active.
That's what we were talking about, Wayne, with that wind. If Northwestern could put together another long drive and take some of this time off the clock, you keep the ball away from that Iowa offense, which has the wind at its back right now.
That's Musso in the slot. Beasley, the wide man, to the bottom of your screen. Second down and about 5. Schnur, play action. Got a man open over the middle. It is Beasley. First down at the Northwestern 48-yard line. Tom Knight made the stop for the Hawkeyes, a 20-yard gain.
Excellent protection that time for Schnur. Play action pass again, and again it's the crossing route that is hurting Iowa. When you come up and you play the run, again, this is where the opening is. You still have to throw and catch it, and both these players do an excellent job of doing that. Schnur throws the strike. Beasley's there for the catch.
Autry, the lone setback on a first down for Schnur. Blitz by Iowa, and Autry is captured near the line of scrimmage. Once again, Vernon Rollins made the stop for Iowa. Virtually no gain. Second down coming up for Northwestern.
One of the things that Northwestern has been able to do very well is when you haven't gotten a lot of yards on first down, because of Autry and his ability to make some plays, they haven't panicked. They've stayed within their system. Today, though, they haven't gotten much on first or second down because Iowa's done a good job of shutting down Autry.
Waterman and Musso form a slot to the top of your screen. The tailback, Darnell Autry, once again hit near the line of scrimmage. This time, John LaFleur pursued on the play. Back to the studio, and Mike Gleason.
Okay, Wayne, Virginia, Maryland knotted up at 11-11. The Virginia driving Kevin Brooks takes the pitch. A walk in the park for Brooks. 5 yards, touchdown. Cavaliers back on top, 18-11. Let's go back to Wayne and Randy.
Thank you, Mike. And again, right here. Northwestern leading by 4, and the Wildcats facing third down. A little bit less than 10 yards to go. This is not a great offense on third down. Schnurr sacked back inside the 45. You saw the third down conversion rate by Northwestern. Very unusual that a team that is 8-1 would have a conversion rate of about 30%. This is what Schnurr wanted to do. He wanted to get to this receiver at the top of his screen.
Excellent coverage by Tom Knight, number 8 there. Also, as the receiver falls down, that really catches Schnurr off balance. He has to step up in the pocket. It looks like he got a little banged off as he was limping as he came off the field that time.
Paul Burton on in punt formation. Northwestern 0 for 5 and third down conversions. Paul Karam's out on the sidelines. Has stayed in play and takes it on Northwestern roll. And it'll be down just short of the 18-yard line. Got a break in the action here in Evanston. 6:27 to go for the third. It's a blustery day, a winter kind of day here in Evanston. The Iowa Hawkeyes trailing by 4. Take over first down at their 18-yard line. 6:27 to go in the third. Cedric Shaw, the ball carrier. Rice made the stop on the play near the 22-yard line, a gain of about 4. I mentioned Northwestern struggling on third downs. I believe I said 0 for 6. They are actually 1 for 6 on third down conversions. Yet they have the lead. But that's been the way they've been all season long. It's just very unusual to see a team this successful only getting 30% conversions on third downs. Second down for the Hawkeyes. To the fullback. They've tried to fake that pitch a couple of times and fake the toss to Shaw and then give it to the fullback, and Berger gets maybe a yard here.
One of the reasons Northwestern has been struggling on third down, Wayne, is because their first down yardage has been so bad. When you've got second and long, you still want to give the ball to Autry as much as you can, but if that running play doesn't work, now you've got third and long. So that's been as much of the problem.
Third down, and it's about 4 for Iowa. Almost 5 yards. Sherman, lots of time. Got a first down to Slutzker, the tight end, and he's out near the 31-yard line. Slutzker, the tight end, who came into this afternoon's game with 28 receptions.
Take a look at this from Pat Fitzgerald, number 51. What he sees, you see Sherman dropping back. He's dropping into his zone. Sherman takes a very deep drop this time, lets things develop. Finds Slutzker right there open between the two Northwestern players. Gets the ball to him. Just enough yards for the first down.
So the Hawkeyes move the chains to the 31-yard line in their own territory. They have 5 minutes with which to work here in this third period, and they've got a pretty good wind to their back. Play being changed at the line now by Sherman once again, and he gets it off just in time. Quick throw into the flats, into White. Chris Martin steers him out of bounds near the 36 on a gain of 4.
Good play by Sherman this time. Last time he thought Northwestern was going to blitz. He audibles, he gets fooled. This time he audible to just a quick out. It's a high percentage pass. If you guess wrong, it still can be a positive play because you can still pick up 4 or 5 yards. If you guess right, then maybe your player makes a big play out of it. Either way, positive things can happen.
2nd down and 4. Price, a tight end in motion. Cedric Shaw. Oh, Price missed the block that time on Jeff Shine, and Shine makes the stop. A loss of a couple of yards.
Tough to run the outside sweep play from the right hash mark. You're going into the short side of the field. Price came through to get the block, but the ball was snapped a little bit early, and he couldn't quite get around in order to kick Shine out. Shine came right in there. Shine did a nice job of holding him up till the rest of the pursuit came.
Pat Fitzgerald, the heart and soul of the Northwestern defense, is down on the field. Orland Park, Illinois, South Side, Irish Catholic, and one of Gary Barnett's first recruits.
You said that right. He's the heart and soul not only on the field, but the leadership that he provides for them.
Let's get back to the studio while they tend to Pat Fitzgerald, get an update on Purdue, Michigan with Mike Gleason.
Okay, Wayne, Michigan failing on 4th and inches inside the 5-yard line. Purdue's football, but Trevsker goes down. That's Clarence Thompson with the sack and the safety. 5-0 Michigan. Michigan batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's go back to Evanston.
And whoever's pitching for him has a shutout going. Fitzgerald is helped up, and looks like it's a problem with his left leg.
He's putting just a little bit of pressure on it. Tried to, and then couldn't quite do that.
Fitzgerald emerging from the south side of Chicago, and a linebacker tradition that includes names like Nitschke and Butkus. Fitzgerald next year will be a candidate for the Butkus Award. He was not nominated this year. Heck, he was only a part-time starter last year. He has really come into his own this year, and this is junior season at Northwestern out of Carl Sandburg High School.
And so many of those Northwestern players last year hadn't quite developed, were part-time players, sometimes part-time starters, but have really developed this year and become stars for them.
And of course, I mentioned Nitschke and Butkus. They both went downstate to Illinois. Fitzgerald stayed up here in Chicagoland and elected to try to help Gary Barnett turn around a Northwestern football program. 3rd down, and it's almost 7 yards to go. Sherman got a man open. Richard Carter on a diving grab for a first down at the 44-yard line of Iowa. Boy, that was a tough catch by Carter.
Tough catch, as you said, Wayne, and a great throw, too. Sherman takes a quick drop right here. Doesn't hold on to the ball for long. Throws the ball right as Carter makes his break. That way the defensive back doesn't have enough time to close and get there before the ball does. Carter goes down, makes a tough catch, hangs onto the ball on this very hard surface.
Absolutely. That ball going away from the receiver at that point, and he went and got it. First down, Iowa at the 44. Cedric Shaw with authority to the 50-yard line, and a gain of 6 yards.
This drive, you see Iowa mixing things up better than they have in some of their earlier possessions. They're throwing the ball to the outside, they're running it to the outside, yet they're always going back to that inside run, which has been the most successful play they've had. They can continue to mix things up like that. That's where their success has come, and they tend to think that's where it's going to continue to come.
Shaw has averaged almost 4 yards a pop against the Wildcats in his career. 2nd down and 4. Slutzker in motion. Shaw again. Tripped up short of the first down to the 47-yard line, a gain of 3 yards. It was Matt Rice.
Tripped up by Matt Rice.
Made the hit.
Nice tackle by Rice. It looked as though Shaw was going to have a lot more running room than what he actually picked up. Rice was going down, reaches out there with his arm, does a nice job of wrapping up his feet, tripping him up.
Under 3 minutes to go. Shaw over 100 yards now, 31 carries, 106 yards. We are 3rd period of play. Northwestern leading by 4. Another 3rd down for the Hawkeyes on this drive. Slutzker, the man in motion. Shaw gets the call. Good read to take it to the outside, and he picks up 2 yards, enough for the first down of the 45-yard line. Danny Sutter led the charge from the linebacking core of Northwestern.
Part of being a good back is knowing how far you need to go for the first down. You get an excellent line surge right here by Iowa. And Shaw, knowing he only needs a couple of yards, doesn't continue to bust it outside, takes what the line has given him, which is enough for the first down.
Should be pointed out, Don Holmes, a sophomore linebacker from, again, the south side of the Chicagoland area, South Holland, Illinois, has replaced Pat Fitzgerald in the middle of the Northwestern defense. First down to the 45 of the Wildcats for the Hawkeyes. They fake the toss, and Berger has running room to a first down to the 34. Rodney Ray made the stop on Michael Berger, who wears number 85, and at 6'3" and 235 pounds, looks more like a tight end than a fullback.
When your focus from Northwestern's defensive point of view has been on Shaw, you fake the sweep, and you run a little misdirection play back. You see the entire Northwestern defense thinking wide. There's nobody there to react to it, and that's why Berger got so many yards.
Ed Sherman's a pretty good ball handler back there.
He's doing a very nice job of hiding the ball.
Shaw fights to the 30, gain of 4 to the sidelines. Jim Barber.
Okay, Wayne, they're still working on the left ankle. Left ankle of Pat Fitzgerald seems to be in some discomfort. Obviously, he wants to get back in the game, being the heart and soul of Northwestern. But right now, the left ankle is being attended to, and he is in some discomfort.
I would expect to take 2 or 3 doctors and trainers, and maybe a couple of bouncers to keep Pat Fitzgerald out of this ball game with just an ankle.
Why do you think that as long as there's a roll of tape on their sideline, he's going to be back in the game?
It's just a matter of when. Second down at 6. Again, they run the fullback right up the belly for about 3 yards to the 27-yard line. Matt Rice makes the stop on the play. A minute left to go now in the third period. Northwestern hanging on to a 4-point lead, but Iowa on the move.
This is where the pressure really falls to Matt Rice and Joe Reef, the 2 interior linemen for Northwestern. With Fitzgerald being out of there and Don Holmes, just a sophomore, stepping in, those interior linemen have to do an excellent job of keeping the offensive lineman off of that linebacker so he can make the plays.
Another third down for the Hawkeyes. 3rd and 3 at the Northwestern 27. Cedric Shaw wedging his way short of the first down. He got down to the 25. It'll be 4th and 1 for the Hawkeyes. Don Holmes filled from the linebacking core, from the middle linebacker spot. He's playing in place of Pat Fitzgerald. We get late word now that they want to x-ray that ankle.
4th down, 1. You have to gang tackle Cedric Shaw. For a guy that's as quick as he is, he's got ability to run over you. It's hard to bring him down one-on-one. Did a nice job of gang tackling.
Third period winds to a close. They switch sides. Gary Barnett and the Northwestern Wildcats leading by 4 as we head to the 4th. Work pays off for Jim Barber down on the sidelines. As we head to the 4th period of play, Northwestern leads Iowa 24-20. And the Iowa Hawkeyes facing a 4th down. A yard to go at the 25-yard line of Northwestern.
Big play right here. They've been having success running the ball in between the tackles. Shaw's the guy that can run over some people. If he gets it, Northwestern needs to gang tackle him with 2 or 3 players.
Tim Dwight is the lone wide receiver in the game. Double tight end standing up on the line. Northwestern shows blitz. Shaw. Big hit in the hole off the left side of the line, but he's got enough for the first down to the 23-yard line. So the Iowa Hawkeyes, who have executed up front very well here today. Cedric Shaw lower the shoulder and picked up enough yardage for the first down.
Big hole right there. Northwestern's defense had a chance to make a big play and let their offense take the field with the lead. Instead, Iowa's offensive line takes over, as they have most of today, running the ball effectively, giving Shaw the holes. Did a nice job right there.
Shaw got that last few inches by lowering his shoulder and going forward. First down. Shaw waiting for for the block. He tried to set up around the block by Derek Price, and he got maybe 2 yards to the 21-yard line. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Much of what we see Northwestern do offensively with the play action attacking over the middle, Iowa set themselves up in a pretty good position to do so because they've been running inside so much. The linebackers have to be conscientious for that. Northwestern, or if you're Iowa, this may be a good time. Play action pass, hit one of those receivers over the middle.
We're in the opening minute of the 4th quarter. It has been a seesaw battle here today. Northwestern leading by 4. 2nd and 8, Iowa. Willie Guy in motion. A slip, and then a hit. Penalty marker down as well. The penalty marker may be for a hold, but the quarterback was down anyway. Matt Sherman lost his footing at the 31-yard line, a loss of 10.
Iowa trying to use that play action, had some receivers downfield, and as Sherman comes back, just falls down. And I agree with you, Wayne. I think it's going to be an illegal block, a little clip right there against Iowa. Which is really going to back them up.
Yes, sir.
Northwestern may refuse this penalty because it was the same, a 10-yard loss, and it cost them the down.
They spotted it as a 9-yard loss to the 30-yard line, but nonetheless.
Loss of 9 on the play.
3rd down now for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
3rd down.
3rd and long. About 17 yards to go.
And if you're Matt Sherman going into this win, you don't have to get it all on this play. If it's there, great. If not, take what they give you.
Tim Dwight is at the top of your screen. Damon Gibson on the bottom. Sherman a deep drop. Pass undershot. Cedric Shaw. Pressure provided by the Northwestern rush. Matt Rice was forcing the line back, and then it was Casey Daly. Came up from the outside to force the quarterback, and it is a 4th down for Iowa.
Excellent pressure, as you said, by the front 4 for Northwestern. They didn't come with Ismaili and some of the linebackers like they usually do. They only rushed with 4, still got the pressure on Sherman, forced him to throw the ball early. Good coverage in their secondary.
The Hawkeyes are 4th and 17, and they're going for it at the 30-yard line of Northwestern. And again, if you're thinking field goal, no chance into the kind of win they're kicking into. Sherman on 4th down. He's got a man, Tim Dwight. The pass wide of the mark. The coverage provided by Eric Collier, and it is 1st down Northwestern going the other way.
Ron Vanderlinden said yesterday they wanted to make Sherman throw the ball on a line when he throws it deep. He didn't think that he was as accurate as when he lobs that ball over the middle, and there's much more room for error. That time, good coverage by Collier. He was very tight to Tim Dwight. That forced Sherman to throw it on a line, and he was inaccurate.
So Northwestern takes over at the Wildcat 30-yard line, leading by 4 with 13:23 to go in the 4th. Waterman and Bates form a slot to the bottom of your screen. That is Bates in motion. Hawkeyes on a blitz with Rollins up the middle, and Rollins guns down the running back, Darnell Autry. Loss of almost 2 yards back near the 28-yard line.
Rollins is really, as you have said many times, making a name for himself. Bobby Diaco came in as the 2nd leading tackler in the Big Ten. They're doing a pretty good job of keeping him away from the ball. It's Rollins that's giving him a lot of trouble.
13 tackles now for Vernon Rollins, the linebacker for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 2nd down, 12 yards to go.
A lot of those tackles are coming behind the line of scrimmage, too. They're not deep into his own territory.
Schnurr on the roll. Penalty markers are down. Schnurr's out of bounds near the 31-yard line on a gain of about 3 yards.
Good play by Schnurr not to force that ball and just to run out of bounds. I think we're going to have a penalty here against Northwestern, which is going to back them up deeper into their own territory.
Holding the call against Northwestern.
Steve Schnurr does not break the pocket and scramble around like that very often. Your offensive linemen get used to him either being in the pocket to throw the ball or on a bootleg. As he breaks here, catches the offensive lineman off guard, he gets held right there Bickham does. And then outside, you'll see Hartle also holding on to George Bennett, outside linebacker. So there are a couple of fouls right there.
So the penalty backs up Northwestern inside its 15 at the 13-yard line.
27.
Second in a bunch. Hayden Fry on the Iowa Hawks sidelines. There's a look at the penalty situation. Second and 27. Schnur under pressure immediately. Just throws it away, incomplete. Autry was in the vicinity. He had vacated the pocket anyway and just threw it away. Very smart move. Immediate pressure provided by Jared DeVries, who leads the Hawkeyes with 12 tackles behind the line of scrimmage this season.
Northwestern trying to set up that screen, get the ball to Autry and let him find some room to run. Iowa read it very early, got underneath there, and there was no place for Schnur to throw the ball. The screen is there right away, or it's not going to be there at all. So if it's not open when you're ready to throw it, you got to throw the ball away, which Schnur did.
Northwestern, 3rd and 27. They're not going to get healthy doing 3rd and 27s. It's a nice chunk of yardage, but not nearly enough. Out across the 20 to the 23 or 24-yard line. Rollins again made the stop on the play. And it's 4th down for Northwestern. The Wildcats 1 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Yet they continue to lead in this game.
Well, again, as you said, 3rd down giving them trouble. Their best chance for the big play is to give it to Autry. And even though it didn't pick up the 1st down, it does give their punting team more room to operate and pushes Iowa another 8 or 9 yards farther back, which makes their offense have to go that much farther.
Paul Burton Jr. in punt formation. Nice spiral. And this ball takes a Northwestern hop inside the 40 of the 38-yard line. Iowa's offense will get it back. We're 4th period, 11:44 to go in the 4th. 4th period of play. We have 11:44 to go in the game. Northwestern leading by 4. Iowa gets it back. I'd like to thank all of our technicians and camera people and the Big Ten crew weathering the storm this morning and now persevering through, well, I guess single-digit wind chill factors on the field. Play action. Sherman going deep. Intercepted on the play by Chris Martin, and Northwestern takes over. Well, it amounts to nothing more than a punt. But the fact is, you only ran one offensive play in that series. The interception as Sherman overshot Tim Dwight.
Trying to catch Northwestern thinking run and forcing the deep play to Dwight. This ball was just thrown, hung up there in the wind, and Wayne, teams week after week try and attack Chris Martin, and he just continues to be there and make the plays.
I tell you, I don't understand it. I think this kid's possibly a first-team All-Big Ten cornerback.
Well, his coach, Ron Vanderlingen, would sure agree with you.
Northwestern on a 1st down. Darnell Autry rambles for about 6 yards to the 29. Back to the studio, Mike Gleason.
All right, Wayne, Miami, Boston College Hurricanes by 14. 4th and goal for BC. Mark Hartzell to Steve Everson. He fights his way into the end zone. And it's Canes over the Eagles, 14-7 in the 4th. Let's go back to Evanston.
It's been a long year for both of those programs. Miami not accustomed to the kind of season they're going through, and BC really struggling. 2nd down. And about 4 yards to go. Autry has running room. 1st down and more. Out near the 37-yard line of Northwestern. 1st down. And there it is. Another 100 yards for Darnell Autry, and it's been tough in coming today. He has gotten nothing easy.
No, he's got a couple of plays that he has broken for some big gainers, but they just continue to give it to him and give it to him. And when you have a back of his ability, you can contain him for a while. It's hard to contain him for the entire 60 minutes.
Autry last week against Penn State, 139 yards and 36 carries and 3 touchdowns. Not bad against that defense. Autry hit at the point of attack. Nonetheless, Autry crashes his way for 4 yards.
We talked about his durability. He had 291 carries coming into today's game, this being his 28th carry today, and he seems to just get better the more chances you give him the ball. He breaks a tackle by Diaco and then lowers his shoulders and runs over some of those smaller defensive backs falling forward. Watch him lower his shoulder right there and just deliver the blow to Ed Gibson, number 26.
Ouch. Second down. Yeah, ouch is right, especially on a cold day like this. Schnurr. Diving attempt made by the fullback, Matt Hartle. And it'll be a third down.
Good play action in the backfield, but Schnurr had Hartle open a little bit earlier. It looked as though he waited too long for Hartle to get too deep into the secondary, and by the time he throws it, leading Hartle all the way across, he throws him into coverage.
Third down coming up, 3rd and 6 now for the Northwestern Wildcats. And as we mentioned, they're about 1 of 7 on 3rd down conversions now. 3rd and 6 here. Schnurr. And that's a first down. Diving grab, Dave Beasley. At the 44-yard line of Iowa, the drive continues for Northwestern.
We saw Sherman do it for Iowa. Now you see Schnurr. The first thing you look for with man-to-man coverage is the crossing route. This time Schnurr picks up Beasley on the crossing route, running away from the man-to-man coverage. Beasley does a nice job going down and catching the ball for a key 3rd down conversion.
Only the second one of the day for Northwestern. At the 44 of Iowa. Got back to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
Vernon Rollins on the stop.
Let's go back down to the sidelines. Jim Barber's got an update on the injured Northwestern linebacker, Pat Fitzgerald.
Okay, going to follow up the examination of Fitzgerald that you guys mentioned moments ago. The first fears were that he had broken his ankle. The good news is that is not the situation. Apparently the ankle is bruised. He can move the ankle, but still undergoing further examination as we speak.
Thank you very much, Jim. Second down here. They did not give him a generous spot of the ball on that last carry. Second down, it's almost 11 yards to go. Play action again. Schnurr under immediate pressure. Schnurr can't get it away. Yes, he does. To Darnell Autry, who's ushered out of bounds back at the 45-yard line of Northwestern. Well, I tell you, the Hawkeyes are all over that play, and again, it was Jared DeVries who makes things happen behind the line of scrimmage. He took down the quarterback.
Well, as you said, DeVries is the guy that has been able to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and even though he didn't get the sack, it's going to look the same if you're the head coach, because that's a negative play that pushes Northwestern backwards.
Pushed him back by 10 yards, Randy. Watch it again.
You see DeVries, he just never quits. He keeps coming after him and coming after him, even though he was blocked by a couple of players. Reaches out and grabs him and continues to push Schnurr backwards. Even though it's completed, as you said, it's still for minus yardage.
You saw the other guy was there, didn't you? Vernon Rollins. Even if you didn't see him, you could guess. Iowa on a blitz. Autry gunned down by Lloyd Bickham, and an impressive stand by the Iowa defense. Outstanding series for the Iowa defense and a 4th down for Northwestern.
This could have been a series where their defense went into the tank. After stopping Northwestern, Iowa's offense gets the ball, first play throws the interception, forces their defense back onto the field. Could have been a place where they say, toss in the towel. They don't, they stop them there.
I don't think either side's going to toss in the towel regardless of what happens out there today. These two teams have gone at each other. 4th down, about 22. Burton in punt formation. It's off a nice kick here. Tim Dwight allows it to hit on the 10 and bounce into the end zone. First down for the Hawkeyes from their 20-yard line when we resume on a wintry afternoon in Evanston. Leading by 4, and the Iowa offense takes over at its 20-yard line.
Not that many more opportunities for this Iowa offense to move the ball down and put it into the end zone. Starting at your own 20-yard line, you don't have to force things to come, but you got to take advantage of the plays when they present themselves.
The wind has subsided somewhat here. Iowa going into what little wind is left. Play action, Sherman. He's hit and sacked. Warren arrived initially on the scene, and it was Matt Rice in the backfield as well. A loss of yardage back near the 14-yard line, loss of 6.
Play action is supposed to slow down that pass rush. Mike Warren doesn't go for the play action, continues on his rush, wraps Sherman up. Good coverage downfield. When you're trying to throw the ball as far downfield as Iowa is, it takes longer. Quarterback has to hold the ball. That time Warren got there.
2nd and 16. Cedric Shaw looking to cut it back. He got 5 of those yards back to the 19-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 11 for Iowa. And Danny Sutter on the stop for Northwestern.
Boy, this is really going to bring up a key 3rd down. As time is running down with less than 7 minutes to go, if Iowa doesn't pick this up, they're going to have to punt and give Northwestern what would look to be decent field position. They really need to convert this.
Sherman calling the play at the line. Tim Dwight is at the top of your screen. He's the guy they look for in these situations. Sherman outlets it to Price, the tight end, and he's not going to get the first down. Price on a gain of about 6 yards out to the 25-yard line, where it is 4th down and 5 for the Hawkeyes.
Iowa trying to get the ball deeper downfield. It's 3rd and 11. Take a look at Tim Dwight, the speedster for these Hawkeyes, going deep down the field, just trying to outrun and then break to the outside. Sherman doesn't have enough time to let that play develop to get him the ball. He needs better protection.
Gallery and punt formation. Not sure if somebody got a piece of that or not, but a shank nonetheless is the end result. And Northwestern will get it at the 40-yard line of Iowa. I believe somebody may have gotten a piece of that one.
We'll take a look at that. You almost think it's hard not to get a piece of this as Martin comes right up the middle. If he didn't get a piece of that, it certainly caused the punter to direct the ball away from him and get off a poor punt.
So now the Iowa defense trailing by 4, 24-20. With 5:49 left to go in the game, is placed in the precarious position of having to stop Northwestern on a drive that begins at the Iowa 40-yard line. The last 3 drives, 3 straight punts. The Hawkeye defense has allowed the visitors to hang in this game. Autry back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. The Big Ten's leading rusher, although he is over 100 yards here today, has found nothing easy.
You just get the feeling if they keep giving Autry the ball, Northwestern feels he's going to break another run like he did in the first quarter, first half, that set up one of their touchdowns. They're going to just keep giving it to him. I don't think they're going to put that pressure on Schnurr to make the plays.
And once again, 1 break by the Iowa defense now. They're really backed up against the wall. 1 break, a Northwestern score. And this one, it's going to be tough for the offense to get anything going into that wind. Autry hit in the backfield. Bobby Diaco, second leading tackler in the conference, made the hit back behind the line of scrimmage by about 3 yards. So a 3rd down coming up once again for Northwestern.
Another key 3rd down. Last time Iowa faced it, needed to make it, and couldn't do it. Lost control of the ball by having to punt. Now Northwestern, in much better field position, has a key 3rd down that even though it's 12, 13 yards to go, they can keep this, pick this up and keep this clock moving, keep the ball. You're just keeping it out of Iowa's hands. You don't want to force something that's not there, turn the ball over, but you want to try and get the first down.
Iowa 1 of 8 on 3rd downs. I think that Northwestern 1 of 8. Schnurr, a big play here. Incomplete. The ball dropped by Bates inside the coverage and about the 28-yard line. That was Mulhern out the coverage in the middle of the secondary.
Good coverage here by Tom Knight, number 8 for Iowa. He forces Bates to go to the outside. That gives Knight good position. So when Bates cuts to the inside, Knight's already right there and throws him off his strike. Good coverage, good position, and good coverage.
He also held him a little bit and got away with it.
You are so picky, aren't you?
It always helps. whatever it takes. Another outstanding stand by Iowa's defense. 4th punt in a row in this second half for Northwestern. Burton gets off a high kick. Fair catch signal is made. The ball hits and stays in play. And Danny Sutter grabs it at about the 13-yard line, where the Hawkeyes will put it in play in their own territory.
At their own 14-yard line.
Hi, everybody. Mike Gleason back in the Big Ten studios. The Missouri Tigers trying to snap a 5-game skid, but they have the 7-2 Colorado Buffaloes. Buffaloes driving. John Hessler escapes the rush, scrambles, hits James Kidd down to the 2-yard line, and then on the very next play, Hessler throws for a score. Second quarter, Buffaloes over the Tigers, 7-0. Let's go back to Evanston.
Thank you, Mike. Northwestern rooters trying to urge their defense to turn back the Hawkeyes one more time and preserve that 4-point lead. Iowa first down football just short of its 14. Berger, the lone running back, gets the call.
Mike Berger, the ball carrier.
And he has about 5 yards out near the 19-yard line.
Tackle by
Don Holmes made the stop. Holmes again playing for the injured Pat Fitzgerald, who's down with an ankle injury. They had taken him for x-rays, and it's still not known if he'll be back in this game.
When you get a sense watching this crowd, which has been pretty quiet most of the game, that this is the drive. They were on their feet cheering their defense. They think this is the drive. Iowa's either going to win it or lose it.
Shaw and Berger, the backfield tandem on second down. Berger out near the 31-yard line to an Iowa first down on a gain of 12 yards.
Brought down by Chris Martin.
Northwestern came with a blitz. Ismaili, the defensive back that generally is the one that'll come and put pressure on the quarterback, came through, and Shaw did a nice job of picking him up. That gave Sherman plenty of time to let the plays develop, and then threw the ball to Berger, who was wide open because the zone had dropped so deep.
3:20 to go in the game. Iowa trailing by 4. Hawkeyes have a first down and all 3 timeouts remaining. First down to the 31. Northwestern showed blitz and backed out of it. The screen pass, or they should say the little flat pass to the big tight end, and he fumbles the football. It's picked up by Ismaili for the touchdown. Derek Price made the reception, lost the football on a hit. Ismaili picked it up and takes it in for what could be the clinching score of the game.
Well, it's a story that has happened so many times. Here you see Rodney Ray come up, force the fumble. Ismaili right there in order to pick up the ball, and then turns it into the touchdown. But so many times this year, this Northwestern defense has created turnovers, has made plays. That's one reason why their offense can be so poor on third down conversions, and yet have such a good record as their defense making plays like that.
And the extra point by Brian Jones. There's a penalty marker down. The extra point was good. Penalty marker down. Northwestern leading 31-20, pending the outcome of the flag here. And that changes the complexion of this ball game for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
A personal foul, dead ball on the offense after the kick. The kick is good. Penalty enforcement on the kickoff.
So the extra point is good, and Northwestern now has a 31-20 lead over the Iowa Hawkeyes in the 4th. Second turnover for Iowa may be the nail in the coffin for the Hawkeyes. And the hit right here, Rodney Ray triggers it loose. The tight end Derek Price in Hudayfa Ismaili motors to the end zone from 31 yards away. And Northwestern trying to take another step toward a return trip to the Rose Bowl. And it's been a long time since they've been there. They're going to need a little help. They're going to need somebody to knock off Ohio State. Goins kicking off from the 20 off the penalty. On the extra point, Tim Dwight trying to get Iowa some field position, and he's got it out across the 40-yard line to the 41.
By Lavelle Brown.
Now, if you're Iowa, you can't afford to be patient and take what the defense gives you. You need to create these plays with only 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go and needing 2 touchdowns. You got to force things to happen and count on some of your skilled players just to make the plays.
And they're going to have to make some plays in a short amount of time. 2:51 to go for the game. Northwestern leading by 11, 31-20. Iowa going into the wind. The wind has not been as consistently strong as it was in the first half, but nonetheless. Odoms near the first down marker at the 50-yard line. Demo Odoms on the reception. Second down coming up.
This is where a lot of that discipline that these Northwestern defensive coaches have taught their team throughout the year. Have confidence, have discipline. Stay at home, just worry about your job. Somebody catches the ball in front of you, that's okay. Come up and make the tackle. Don't let them turn it into a big touchdown.
Sherman again with the call at the line. Making sure his skill position people know what the call is. Second and short, Sherman to the air. Got the tight end, Matt Slutzker. Slutzker eluded one defender, but then is swarmed back near the 39-yard line. Marking near the 39 or 40-yard line. It's a first down for the Iowa Hawkeyes and a gain of about 10 yards.
Brought down by Eric Collier.
The first down, that'll stop the clock until the chains get set. Sherman needs to call the play right now while the clock's not moving so that he's ready when the referee blows the whistle.
First and 10 Iowa at the Northwestern 40-yard line.
And they roll the clock. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Iowa trailing by 11. Sherman a deep drop with good protection. Went to the short pattern and excellent defense. Martin made the hit on Cedric Shaw, the running back who hauled in the pass, gain of about 4 yards.
I think Northwestern's going to give them a lot of those plays, Wayne. 4 or 5 yard gains, keep them in front.
Coming up on 2 minutes left to go in the game. Iowa needs a couple of scores. They're down by 11. Need a couple of touchdowns. Or a touchdown and an extra point, a 2-point conversion, then a field goal. Sherman, Cedric Shaw didn't really have anywhere to go. Holmes, the linebacker, responded close to a first down to the Hawkeyes at the 30-yard line of Northwestern.
No, I agree with you. Shaw didn't really have any chance of making the big play, but just got close enough to the chain, maybe for some measurement.
Under 2 minutes to go in the game. Iowa has 3 timeouts remaining. Cedric Shaw up the middle. Shaw trying to make a play. He's got a first down. Just inside the 20, and I would imagine Hayden Fry will use a timeout right here. William Bennett made the stop for Northwestern.
I think they're just trying to get him with the clock stopped because of the first down. He's letting Sherman go to the line of scrimmage and call the play. He may be saving his timeouts in case they do score to use them when Northwestern goes on offense.
Or Iowa recovers an onside kick. That would be, I would imagine, the next move if they score here. Sherman slips. Did his knee go down? Yes, it did. Back near the 28-yard line.
That's the 28-yard line of Northwestern.
And the clock is going to continue to run right here, so now they have to use one of their timeouts.
So the Hawkeyes stop the clock with 70 seconds remaining. Northwestern leading by 11, 31-20 over the Hawkeyes in a hard-fought, cold affair in Evanston. Well, football's fun again in Evanston. This is the best season Northwestern has had since what, the early 70s, 71, 72, somewhere around there. And they're bidding for a Rose Bowl invitation for the first time since the late 40s. And they're looking to snap a 21-game losing streak to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You look at this team too, Wayne, and they've got a lot of players coming back. They can be good for a couple of years to come.
The Hawkeyes have 2 timeouts remaining, 70 seconds to work, and it's second down and 19. Near the Northwestern 28. Sherman a deep drop. Buys some time. Knocked down by Collier. Shaw would have had some running room down the left sidelines, and I dare say, Randy, he had Demo Odoms out in front to block Rodney Ray, and if Eric Collier doesn't break this up, Iowa might score on it.
I agree with you. Sherman saw that and tried to direct Shaw to go to the outside, threw the ball just a little bit behind him, but I think Gary Barnett sees that as a big play by Collier because he saw what we did. That could have been a big play for Iowa. Collier to knock that ball down.
Third down now, and 19 for the Hawkeyes. Sherman again. Lots of time. Buy some more. Short pass here to Slutzker, the tight end. Cutting it back, gets to the 20. And so it'll be 4th and about 11 coming up. Don Holmes made the stop on the play. Northwestern content to allow the Hawkeyes to cut it back to the inside, because now it forces another timeout being used by Hayden Fry and company. Stopping the clock with 49 seconds to go. The Hawkeyes have 1 timeout remaining.
You can't say enough about the secondary that Northwestern has and the way they are covering these Iowa receivers. When Sherman is scrambling around, that's generally where some of these receivers break open. But as much as he has done that, he's always wound up throwing the ball to their backs or their tight ends, somebody in the flat. So as much as he's doing that, running around back there, there's still nobody coming open downfield.
We got about 3 inches of snow early this morning here in Evanston, but the skies have cleared. It's just cold. Wind whipping off the lake that's got the wind chill factor in single digits. The Iowa Hawkeyes are facing the challenge now, trying to score 11 points at least in 49 seconds. And they are facing 4th down and about 11 yards to go just outside the 20-yard line of Northwestern.
This is where Northwestern in the past has liked to disguise the blitz and bring Ismaili off the corner to put extra pressure. They've gotten some pressure with Warren and Casey Daly, their 2 defensive ends, not having to bring Ismaili.
So Iowa, less than a minute to go. 4th down. This to stay in the game. Sherman. Feels some pressure, and Cedric Shaw could not haul it in. I'm not sure he would have gotten a first down out of that anyway. The pressure was coming from the guys up front, and that forced the throw by Sherman, and the Wildcats take over on downs. Casey Daly was among those pressuring the quarterback.
Again, Northwestern did not have to bring Ismaili or any of the linebackers. They got the pressure with their defensive ends that forced Sherman to throw it. Even though Shaw looked wide open, I agree with you, Wayne. I don't think he would have had enough room to pick up that first down without breaking some tackles.
Now, they had some people closing in the secondary. Iowa can stop the clock one more time. 44 seconds to go. Steve Schnurr to one knee. Let's go quickly to the sidelines. Jim Barber's got an update on Pat Fitzgerald, the linebacker for Northwestern.
And unfortunately, Wayne, it is not good news. Originally, we told you it did not appear he broke his ankle. That is correct, but he has a broken fibula and tibula. He will be lost for the rest of the season. He was able to move his ankle, but the break is right above the ankle.
My goodness. You hate to see that happen. Fine young man who's had an outstanding season leading the conference in tackles.
We'll just hope as a junior he'll be able to come back next year fully recover from that.
The Northwestern Wildcats have ended a long losing streak. 21 consecutive losses to the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Northwestern Wildcats today have broken that string and proven to Hayden Fry, who said, hey, I know they're good, but they got to prove it to me. They haven't beaten us in 21 straight games. Today, they were able to accomplish that, break the streak to Iowa, and in a season that has seen Northwestern in a lot of firsts. First win over Michigan in 3 decades. First win over Notre Dame. First win since 1973 over the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You see that a lot, and it just seems as though everybody you talk to, well, they've got to show me. I know what they're doing, but when is this bubble going to burst? When are they going to come down to reality? This is reality. They are a good football team, and every week they continue to go out and show those doubters week in and week out.
Well, they got off to a 3-0 lead in Northwestern. Iowa stormed back with 14 unanswered points and appeared to be taking command of the first half, and in fact were dominating this ball game. Then Northwestern put together a run of 14 unanswered points to take the lead. Iowa comes back and grabs a 20-17 lead. And in the 4th period of play, Northwestern Wildcats on a turnover, which I guess is symbolic of the way their season has gone. They have scored almost as much off the defense as they have on offense. Turnovers have led to points for Northwestern. 98 points were directly related to plays made by their defense coming into today's game. The nail in the coffin of the Hawkeyes was scored by the defense. A fumble by Price, the tight end for Iowa, picked up on the play by Ismaili. He motored 31 yards into the end end zone, and the story was written.
And their special teams contributed today. Brian Musso with the punt return. Everybody contribution should take some pride and some satisfaction in this victory.
All right, let's head back to the studio for Randy Wright, Jim Barber, Wayne Larrabee. So long from Evanston. Mike Gleason.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. 31-20. 14 unanswered points in the second half as the Northwestern Wildcats moved to 9-1 in the 1995 season. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the studios. Let's bring you up to date with as many games as time allows. First of all, let's head north to Ann Arbor, Michigan. A snowy, windy day in Ann Arbor. Michigan's punt formation. Watch this. Fumbled by Purdue's Craig Allen. The ball squirts loose. It's finally recovered on the 2-yard line by Sam Sword. But Michigan couldn't cash in. They settled for a field goal. Now, Timmy Biakabatuka. Usually when he cracks the century mark, Michigan wins the football game, bounces off the tackles, 37 yards down the near sideline. But the drive would stall, and they had a kick block. Now, Michigan's Clarence Thompson sacks Rick Trevsker for a safety. 5-0, the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan, of course, #1 against the run, and Purdue, usually known as an offensive football team, not defensively, but Michigan only puts 5 on the board, but it's 5 enough to pick up the victory. Okay, elsewhere in the Big Ten, Michigan State rolling now after the big win over Michigan over Indiana in the fourth quarter. Michigan State 5-3-1. It's now 31-13. Illinois, Ohio State, that kickoff from Columbus, Ohio, coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Also, later tonight in the Metrodome, Wisconsin, Minnesota. 2 years ago, the Gophers handed the Badgers their only loss in their Rose Bowl season. They meet again tonight on the same site, the Metrodome. All right, Florida State plummeted from 2-6 in the polls after losing to Virginia a week ago Thursday. Pick up some of the action here. Florida State's Danny Cannell goes upstairs, as he does so often. Rock Preston deep over the middle. This set up a 1st and goal. Now it's 4th and goal. Warwick Dunn scores on a 1-yard run. His second touchdown of the day, the other one a 43-yarder in the first. It's 21-6 Florida State. Third quarter now. Danny Cannell finds Andre Cooper, 11 yards for the touchdown. 28-6 Florida State on top of this one. And it's 28-12 right now. That is a final, so the Seminoles bounce back. They're now 30-1 in the ACC. Kansas State, Iowa State, 28-7 at halftime. Cyclones down big. Missouri, Colorado, and it is 7-0 in the second quarter. The Buffaloes by a touchdown. Virginia, Maryland, the Cavs have won 5 of the last 7 in this series. Let's pick up some of the action first quarter. Maryland up 3-0. Maryland kicker Brad Rhodes kicks off. Now check this out. Basic, fundamental football. Virginia doesn't fall on it. Paul Jackson does, and it sets up a touchdown. It's Scott Milinovich, and they go up 11-0. Okay, second quarter, 11-3. Milinovich picked off by Anthony Poindexter right here. That led to a Tiki Barber 2-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion good. It's tied at 11. Third quarter, Kevin Brooks, 5 yards out. Virginia 18-11. Let's light up the scoreboard where it stands right now. There's Brooks going in, 21-18. Virginia in the fourth quarter. Southwest Louisiana and number 15, Arkansas. It's the Hogs by 10, that game at the intermission. Mississippi State, Alabama. 14-9, Crimson Tide up in this one. Temple, Virginia Tech. Hokies are looking for their 8-game winning streak, the first time since 1905. They're all over Temple, 31-9 in that one. And Syracuse, the Orangemen, +10 in turnovers ratio. They're all over Pitt. It's been a long year for the Pitt Panthers. That is a final, 42-10, the Orangemen rolling there. Duke and Clemson. You know, the Tigers are 2-3 at home this year, and that scored 24-7, 24th ranked Clemson all over Duke. Miami, Boston College, it's 17-14 right now. The Hurricanes had a 14-0 lead. The Hurricanes tangling with BC. BC expected to finish second in the Big East behind the Hurricanes. It was 14-0, then 14-14. Now Miami leading the ball game 17-14. Mid-American Conference, Central Michigan right now. Ball State. It's Ball State to buy a couple of touchdowns, 24-10 over the Chippewas. That game in the fourth quarter. Bowling Green against Kent. Bowling Green 26-15. And Miami of Ohio against Ohio. This game being played in Athens, and Miami leading that one 23-2. That's going to wrap it up for this Saturday of Big Ten college football action. 31-20, Northwestern over Iowa. This is Mike Gleason saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Today's Big Ten football game has been brought to you by Video Guide, the on-TV program guide with news, weather, and sports. It's about time.
Big Ten football, sponsored in part by the Stars of Chicagoland, your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.